Hello everyone, Reggie Time here, and we're going to be doing some videos on Triple Eight going forward for the next few weeks, at least till the summer rake race promotion is over on Sky Poker. I'm going to talk a tiny bit about that first before we get into the action. If you can't be asked listening to the ramble, then skip forward a few minutes and there'll be some poker going on. First, I just want to talk about very briefly what we're doing for the last couple of months. It's been mostly playing on Sky, not making many videos because Sky had an issue with it. The last video I made on Sky where we censored it out, they seem to be okay with that, but I just don't want to play on Sky at the moment since from the start of June until the middle of August, I made close to 2,000 on Sky, maybe close to 1,500, I'm not sure, but it was good. I made some very nice money on there, without being like a knobhead. It came pretty easy. It was very soft games. Then this rake race promotion started. Players come back from the Sky Vegas trip. A lot more regulars have turned up recently. It's undoubtedly cut my hourly. By how much I don't know, but it feels at the moment as though Sky isn't the best place to be, at least until the promotion's finished. Then maybe we'll take a look back. I was considering playing over on Sky over the weekend, but changing from like one format to another or one site to another, it can mess you, because we definitely use different strategies on Sky than we do playing Snap or like more reggy tables on Triple Eight. My idea about my schedule for the next few weeks is going to be moving more onto a late night, early morning schedule and not doing as much in the mornings. My schedule has been stop playing on Sky 1 or 2 in the morning, go to bed, get up again 9-10 o'clock, grind Sky till lunchtime. That's not going to be happening. We're not going to be doing any more morning sessions anywhere. We're going to be trying to get my sleep schedule to a point where we can play till 3, 4, 5 in the morning on Triple Eight if possible. And then if we do wake up early, I can do some work on last night's session, tag players, look at hands, things, and yeah, just see how we go from there. My hourly on Triple Eight is going to be lower than my hourly on Sky for the last 6 to 8 weeks, but it's going to be higher than my expected hourly for the next 3 to 4 weeks, however long the promotion's got to go. The good news is we're going to be able to make lots more content because it's super easy just to make videos on Triple Eight. It's going to be Snap, regular tables, whatever it is, whatever I'm playing late at night. I'm usually going to record at least an hour or more of it, just stick a lot of videos up, and hopefully with some morning videos when I'm bored and forget up early, nothing to do. Some morning videos, maybe reviewing some hands we've played or just getting some thoughts off my chest. Who knows what? But that's going to be the plan going forward. So yeah, hopefully we can have a good run on Triple Eight. We can make some money and make some decent content while we're at it. I started this session 25 minutes ago. As you can see, it's already got to a pretty good start. Shame we didn't get it all on video, because we're up 2 buy-ins in 197 hands before we started. One was just Kings versus Jacks in a 3-bet pot, and the others have come in like 2 or 3 smaller type pots. I mean, these games still aren't great. We're not going to pretend like they're way better than Sky, but I'm going to be getting more volume in. It's going to be more convenient. It's going to be more efficient. When you're trying to like table selecting on Sky is easy when all the regulars aren't playing as many tables as you can possibly play. But I've noticed that I've been like searching all the regulars, and outside of like the sickos who play like tons of tables anyway, all the other regulars are increasing the volume, and it does it every time. I should have known better. I should have come off Sky immediately, the minute they launched the promotion, because the games just go rubbish. Regs turn up from nowhere. I've seen about 5 or 6 names I've never seen before. I haven't seen for ages playing, just turning up in the games. And you've got your sickos like you don't tell mums who are just playing every fucking table possible from like 10 NL to 50 NL. It's just rubbish. I mean, the average pot size at all tables has gone right down. It's just not good at the moment, so there's no real reason to be there. I think I'll certainly have an higher hourly rate in these games for the time being. Pocket 10s here. Well, first of all, we're going to kick off by 3-betting the King Queen, and I think we're going to call 4-bet these and just fold to a 5-bet from Clarell. Oh, fucking timed out. I forgot the time banker's gone. No big deal when you've got 2 10s there in that spot. It's not a super profitable spot, but it's really quite annoying because I was going to 4-bet 4. They need to be aware that the time bank doesn't exist. It used to just automatically kick in and you didn't have to worry about it if you had any chips at all in the pot, but they've removed the time bank, which I think generally speaking is a good thing. It's a pisser when it makes your time out when you're talking, but not the end of the world. You're going to see me doing like a lot of different bet sizes from all positions with all kinds of hands here. It's going to be based on who's to act behind me most of the time. If there's lots of weak players behind, are going to be increasing my open sizes quite significantly. If there's lots of like solid, tight or good or aggressive players behind, we're going to be opening smaller with whatever part of our range we're opening with. It's going to have nothing to do with our hand. It's going to have pretty much everything to do with who is to act behind us. This queen isn't ideal, of course, and this guy could clearly have 6x, but we've got less than a pot size bet left, and he can certainly call with worse, so we're going to stick it in. He did have the 6-9. Not going to care too much about that when he got a small stack. See, I'll try to explain my sizing as we go along, but if you see me opening for a size that doesn't make much sense to you, like, oh, I've seen him open for pot there, and previously he opened for half pot with the same hand, same position, it's going to be to do with who's behind me and not to do with anything else. There's not like, there's going to be no sizing tells going on in terms of like my hand strength. All my sizing is going to be specifically to do with who's in the blinds. Like here we have a good aggressive regular in this big blind, so he's going to open for a min raise. 2 potential fish in the blinds here, so we're going to flat the ace-10 suited open to try and allow the blinds to come in the pot. Sadly, we get like a pretty rubbish flop. At a point, this guy's certainly capable of c-betting like worse hands than ace-10 off here, but we're going to have loads more better hands we can defend there versus c-bet, so it's no big deal. We wanted to try and play a pot with the blinds there and try and cool somebody off. Didn't happen. In other situations, that could possibly be a 3-bet. If there's just that good, decent, aggressive players behind, I would more than likely just 3-bet ace-10 suited versus that player's under the gun open. So a lot of the actions I take are going to be based on who's to go behind me, what are their stack sizes, and less to do with my actual hand. Queen 4. This small blind button min raise, I don't get it. It's going to make me fold queen high, of course, but queen 4 high. But I've seen some players recently. I saw Doug Polk on his stream the other night. He was opening 4x from the small blind quite often. Not entirely sure what the logic is behind it, but you know, if someone as good as Doug Polk's doing it, then I'm going to just play with it a little bit and just see what happens and try and figure out when it's good, when it's not so good as we go along. But obviously the primary reason I can think about for doing it is that it would generate more fold equity. Don't always open pocket 6s under the gun, but we're going to here. We're going to open bigger, try and force these players out and try and play pots with the blinds. Particularly this guy in the big blind here with the fish tag. It's trivially easy squeeze here with the queens pre-flop. Don't even seem like you've got a 30-second time bank anymore pre-flop. Gone hardcore. I have to be super careful with this. I'm just going to jam this flop. He can certainly call with lots of worse pocket pairs. We've only got just over a pot size bet left. Don't expect him to fold like pocket 7s there very often, for example, on the 9 high flop. Queen offsuit to fish in the blinds. Let's see your flopping position. Not expecting to get squeezed very often. Flop a top pair, so we'll see you at the river, dude. More than likely. Six seems like a pretty neutral card on the turn. Pair again, hope not to get raced, because that would be unpleasant. We'll probably fold. Yeah, we're gonna have to fold here. We just don't beat. We beat some bluffs, and that's about it. But the six doesn't change, and if he hadn't his semi bluffs, you would imagine he would be firing them off on the flop and not waiting for the turn. We're just gonna fold there. And keep checking these tens. Very likely we're ahead of him, but not very likely he's going to be able to call us with worse very often, and not an awful lot to check to protect against. And he just pots the river, which makes you think we're not as likely to be ahead of him anymore. We now lose to an 8 as well. We lose to flushes, king, queen. It's just way better hands we can call with here than pocket tens. There's some queen X there that I would consider calling with sometimes. We don't have very much king X there very often because we usually see betting our king X from top pair versus the fish, so maybe tens is one of the better hands we're going to have there, but nevertheless. 2 overcards, trips on board, and sorry, a pair on board and flush get in there. I don't think we need to be calling pot size bets with pure bluff catchers. Kick it off with a bet here with our cut shot and backdoor flush draw. Jack of diamonds on the turn. Don't see too much benefit in betting here. We can maybe get some folds or some like medium pocket pairs. We can get folds from them on the river if it checks through. And I think just an option but to bet here. 6-5's got there. I think Jack X usually bets the turn if anyone's in there with a Jack X. I mean, I'm worried about just getting heroed by any pair, but we don't have anything. It doesn't look like our opponents are particularly strong, but we still might get called down by something. This guy has a jack, then LOL. I mean, he doesn't bet the turn, he doesn't raise the river. Both of them seem moderate to me, and then the other guy overcome with pocket kings. Okay. So our race 5 plan was not good. I think the plan was okay, but it turned out that we were in against 2 better hands, and that's something I wanted to talk about actually. It's been on my mind for a while, and I don't know where it's. I think it's come from like people trying to be balanced or tricky. I don't know what it is, but I can't remember poker being as passive post flop as it is now for an incredibly long time. I'm going to do here with this ace 10 2 fish in the blinds, call and play a flop. I don't recall it being, I mean, pre-flop it's reasonably aggressive, people that get the dancing shoes on with an okay-ish type frequency, I guess. I'm going to call here once with the ace 10 and maybe look to attack weakness on later streets. I mean, this guy might be tricky enough to check a jack to us here, but right. Don't have the jack. Don't think he has a jack. Don't think fish check this line with trips very often. Like bet, then start checking. Oh, he had the ace king. Sigh. That's right, you didn't have a jack. Got that much right. Would have worked if it wasn't for that pesky king. Would have worked, but never mind. Yeah, it's just people are just so damn passive post flop these days that super tricky. I mean, it seems to me people want to play like really passive, check a lot, with anything that's just not like close to being nutted. And then when they have the nuts, they just like want to just go crazy and just try and like really make pots explode. And I thought it was just one or two people at first, but it seems to be like the strategy of tons of people these days. It's like the discussion we were talking about just the other day on the video. We talked about not wanting to bluff fish, etc., and like just keeping pots small when you have nothing, and then just going out of your way to try and make enormous pots when you're super strong. And I think people are taking that now, not just against fish, but against almost everybody. It just seems to be tons of players just content to play super small pots with all kinds of medium strength hands, and only really want to get involved when they've got like super nutted stuff or like really strong draws. It's that no one knows how to play the middle of the range anymore, other than to play it really, really passively. And we don't want to. We want to be trying not to do that where we can. That doesn't seem like a bad card on the river here. What are your bets? I mean, what bluffs can he have here? King, Queen, Spades. Don't think you bet to 10 this size. Yeah, we're going to pay him off. Here's Queen. As we've been talking about how passively people are playing, then I immediately bluff catch. Never mind though. It seemed like a reasonable spot to do it. So we get a cold call in the big blind, and then the open raiser folds. I mean, I think we're just going to have to bet this here and hope he doesn't raise, and hope we don't see any more blue ones. This isn't a card to barrel too often, I don't think, but we don't want to be giving any free cards here on this board texture. There's like gut shots out there, flush draws. Who raises now? We're going to be feeling pretty sick. If he's flopped a flush, he's just going to get the rest. But I'm going to want to like jam here with all my like missed not flush draws, etc. We get the hero call from the 2 jacks, which is pretty sweet. And these guys are super heavy into 3-bet, and this guy 3-bets are smaller. He's nitty, but his strategy is an awful lot of like 3-bet pre or fold. As soon as I say that again, we get jammed on, but whatever. Super easy call here with the ace-7 suited. Probably folding on this turn if he barrels. Not betting here. Calling versus a small bet. Folding versus a larger one. Consider that to be a larger one. Again here we're opening pot on the button because we have 2 potential fish in the blinds. We get 3-bet, which is never nice. We're not really getting good implied odds here. We're, you know, if we had like more money, if we both had more money, we could call, but we can only 10 times. He's only got like 10x the price of the raise, which isn't really enough in terms of like wanting good implied odds. 10-8 suited here. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. These purple tags don't always mean people are good by that. It used to be like my like aggro regular. Now it's just my generally aggro tag. I'm gonna bet this turn here just to like deny equity to or charge single heart type hands. I'm probably gonna check back the river. Maybe a bit too thin to bet. Certainly going to 3-bet the 10s here and not back away from them if we get jammed on. We're going to get 50 bigs in pre versus a green tag with 10s. Then he uses that size that makes me want to fold. He doesn't jam. If he jams, I'm fucking smashing it in his face. But when a 35-6 does this, I'm going to make an incredibly exploitable fold. If he jammed there, I'm absolutely fucking snapping. Not even thinking twice about it, but he does the whatever he did that wasn't an all-in. Well, if Vish do the 4-bet that isn't an all-in off that stack size, you know, the 10s are going to be in jail so often. Trivial jam here with the ace-king. It's not even close. We're going to tank it down a little bit, make it look like we got a decision. It's not even close. If it's just a cooler, it's a cooler. Same hand. Oh, we're free rolling spades. Spade! Do it. Boom! Go on then. Go on then, 888. We'll take a bit of that. We'll absolutely take a bit of that. That was a thing of beauty. Unlucky to this guy, of course, but at the same time, fuck this guy. Unlucky, but fuck you. I'm going to set mine here. It looks like there's at least 2 fish behind and a pretty tight guy in the blinds. Try and flop a set multi-way. Should be very exciting. Pair and a gut shot. Seems like a good card to check and maybe call on. Do not like the ace on the turn. We can't really bet now. And then I think we can go for some thin value on the river. Hopefully he picks us off without any pair. Instead he min raises us, which is really shit. We don't want to be min raised. We wanted him to call or fold. Man, we're just not going to be good here. But we're going to call anyway. Of course we weren't good. How can we be possibly good against a hand that limp calls the button there? He makes a bigger raise. It's a trivial fold, but he didn't make a bigger raise, so we kind of don't like it, but we have to call. Just because it's min raise and it's a fish, and who knows what the fuck he's doing. Small c-bet here with the ace-king, giving up. If we get called and don't improve, well, not giving up, but probably not continuing very often. 7's a bad card. We're going to just check and have some like strongish hands in our calling ranges. We get called in 2 spots here, so we're done with the ace-king. I'm going to call on non-diamonds on this river, I would imagine. Seems like a card we're going to have to call on. Our hand's significantly under-repped. You can certainly just have some lone diamonds that blast off. Don't really want to call $8.40, but I mean our hands, we've significantly under-repped our hand here. We lose to like flop flushes 7x and some flop sets, I guess. And yeah, the ace jack. Couple of fish around, unknown in the big blind. So we're going to pot it. Make a sizable c-bet here against somebody with only that stack size. We're going to bet almost full pot and then just jam turns that we like. So he 3x'd earlier from the button when he had ace-king suited, and this time he's only min raised. I'd like to get to showdown here if possible to see if there's any like significant difference or possible sizing tell. He's not betting a jack. We don't block clubs. So he's like min raising 10-7 suited, 3x in ace king suited. That could be interesting. Put a note on for now. Just possible button sizing tell. It's 5 off. He hasn't got many chips, but it's too strong to fold, obviously, just to a single small blind open. 2 regulars behind here, and a short stack big blind means pocket 3s are going to be a fold. Yes, queen's just going to be a small open due to this guy and this guy being shortish and regular in the big blind. Flop pretty sweet. Small C bet. I'm very deep here with this guy, very deep with both of these guys. I'm going to make a big-ish size squeeze just to apply more pressure pre-flop. We're deep and we're happy to play deep stacked in position in 3-bet pots. We're equally just happy to take it down pre with ace king. But when stacks are deep like that, we need to like size up a little bit and make sure that we try and maximize the pressure we can put on both pre-flop and post-flop. Might just like having the stack depth make our opponents feel really uncomfortable playing out of position. Pretty deep here again. 2 people. We need to like cold 4-bet the kings here clearly. It's not even a decision. We're not going to be looking to get him in pre though for like over 200 big blinds. If he 4-bets, it's going to be sick. We block ace king. Just never, literally never 4-betting queens here. Nit on a heater. I sure am. I sure am, buddy. I'm a nit and I'm on a heater tonight. Beautiful. I'm sure that Clarel's a nit. Let's go and find him in my database. I mean, nits calling nits nits. Satire is real. And I say that as a nit who calls other nits nits. Right. What's his name? It's Coralie. So just put CLA. I should find him. So we have 2,500 hands on him and he's 21/17. With respect, you know, he's not doing anything super laggy himself. Oh, it's fine. He's probably a little bit pissed off with me because we've got the better of him in that bad beat and what have you, and we've squeezed him a couple of times. He's entitled to get a bit salty. We all do. And we'll sometimes just like whack it in the chat box then. And what we've done, we like 3-bet him 2 or 3 times, squeezed him once, then sucked out on him once. Yeah, I'd be feeling salty if I was him as well. So we're not going to beat up on the guy. Time for the vape, I think. shake those Tic Tacs. Gotta shake those Tic Tacs before you vape. Queen 10, shorty and regular. It's going to be a min raise. Now, good regulars here will 3-bet when the 3-bets is still like 270 plus. Well, that's near enough. Bad regulars there will 3-bet to like 180 and just give you all kinds of reasons to not fold and play in position versus them. And call this with 3-bets. Unless he bets like $3 or something stupid. If he jams, we're probably going to fold. Fishing the blinds means I'm not going to get 3-bet very often, so we're going to step man with our deuces in the small blind, which isn't something I recommend. I'm just going to open fold the 3s with tight players. Well, not tight, but some kind of all 3 regulars behind. I think this guy's a good regular. This guy here, Clarolly. I think extra Roshi's, it's just a fucking short stacking idiot. And then Nibbler, well, he's only an orange tag, but he's a bleeder rather than a big losing player. No doubt he loses long term, but he's just a bleeder. He's not someone you're ever going to like win massively big pots against unless you can beat 2-pair plus. He's left in the pool. Now we're down to 21. Maybe it's not going to be the longest video tonight. Do expect plenty more of them because I'm probably not going to be on Sky. I don't want to make a commitment and like say something like, if you find me on Sky in the next fucking until the rate race is finished, I'll give $50 a share. I'm not going to say anything like that because there might be a time when I just look at Sky and think, you know what, there's a lot of fish around and there's not many regs around, and just go on there and play. But I'm certainly not planning on grinding there anytime soon. I suspect this poly sheep might be a fish, but I don't know for sure. Not double barreling here. I wasn't going to open into that stack size anyway. And hand as weak as Jack 9. gut shot and we've been check min raised. Let's just peel one off and see if we can't just spike that 10. We'll lose to king queen. That is not a 10, but it does give us an open ender. You're going to keep me interested for at least one more street, certainly at that price. It's just going to be a call on the river here. Fold this river to bets again. He's going to have a king a decent amount here. Don't think there's that much value in bluffing. No. Does he call with a 7? I'm not sure. I think his turn bet's horrible there, by the way. Really horrible. They didn't take long to fold, did they? Yeah, turn bet on it with the 6-7 when the king hits. So he's, I don't know. I mean, he's trying to turn his 7 into a bluff, I guess. But not really sure any better hands ever fold. In fact, they don't. And then he doesn't continue his bluff on the river when we likely don't have flushes, given that we didn't bet the flop. Yeah, don't like his line at all. He should just have continued betting. Once he decides to turn his 7 into a bluff, he probably needs to. I don't think, but yeah, one street isn't going to get it done, is it? Usually, there, you know, once you decide, right, my 7s, I'm going to bluff now with my 7. You need to commit to it. You need to man up. Get dunked into here, and we have absolutely nothing. Please let me felt this guy. I know he hasn't got any money hardly, but I don't like the little fucker. Yes, we felted him. I know he's going to reload for his fucking $12 or whatever, but it's nice. Nevertheless, that 6 feels like 60 almost against that dick. In my last 2 days on 888, we have almost recovered the Sky downswing. I think the downswing on Sky ended up being 200 and odd quid, 250 quid maybe. But the last 2 days we've made $200 on 888, which is nice. I'm going to fold if under the gun 4 bets here. Let me weak ace go on this turn card. It's going to get thinner and thinner as we get down the streets here. If jacks continue to be an overpair. Yeah, this is kind of unpleasant. We only beat bluffs. We can't just fold to like a one small raise. Probably going to have to check fold the turn, because we talked earlier about how people just like keeping pots really small and then bloating them when they're comfortable with the hand. And we've been raised here on a really dry flop. And of his value raising range, we beat pocket tens, and he shouldn't have tons of bluffs unless he's just like deciding to freak out with ace king versus our small sizing or something. But yeah, we just do I want to go for $31 more in this spot with this hand? The answer is no. If he's bluffed us, well, he's bluffed us. I'm not going to lose an awful lot of sleep over it. A good spot for a small C bet. Giving up. A very dry board. As is good for him. He just gets to win. Turns a good shot. I mean, it's a board that's going to way favour a fish's range, and man. Gotta take the lumps sometimes. Right, so we have 2 overs and an opening straight draw. I'm gonna raise versus this small donk. I'll raise slightly smaller here to reflect the big blind not having too many chips. Put a queen out on the river just to really fucking compound things. Oh, it did as well. It did. But we still managed to hold on versus the sevens. Should really be starting to tag these. Players aren't playing full stacks really. There's tons of them abound. New players galore. That one, the new players to me anyway. I was about to say we're going to check back this turn because it looks like a really good card for him. We have like opening straight on flush draw. I mean, it's a big bet, but we just can't fold here. Jamming would be fucking horrendous. Raising would be horrendous. Going to call and hope to spike. And we do. We spike the nuts, which is a good card to spike. If you're going to spike here, spiking the nuts is what you want to spike it with. All in's too big. And try and get paid by a straight here. Goes pretty quickly. Maybe all in wouldn't have been too big. Very obvious he had a straight there though, I think. Yeah. Unlucky dude. But when you've got the opening straight draw and the nut flush draw, we're just not going to be folding. We know we're behind. But yeah, it's impossible to fold there in my very humble opinion, and then just rivering the nuts doesn't have to make life easier. This guy's such a nit. I just don't want to peel versus him, but there's fish in the blind, so he will. Maybe could have gone smaller there because this guy's been going all in a little bit, and it's going to annoy me if he does it again. Running hot. Okay, maybe we're not running so hot. Easy bet fold on the river. Can't fold to this dude. If he jams, it's whatever. Fuck our lives. For 392, we'd have had to pay him off. I think we call here. Whoops. Oh, we are running pure. We've gone from running like absolute dog shit on Sky, won't we get an egg for our troubles, to seemingly being unable to miss on 888. It's a funny old world. I got told off for sniffing too much last video. If I will explain just briefly why I do so. I've explained it a million times before, but I'll explain it again. I used to work in a really shitty, dirty detergent factory, and many, many moons ago, when I was a naive young man, I basically was trapped in a very small room when a Mulux bag with a ton of washing powder, enzymatic washing powder, dropped to the floor. Fucking massive plume of powder, which obviously engulfed me, which is why I cough quite a lot too, and why my throat isn't always great. So I was engulfed in like a ton of washing powder, and since then I've had all kinds of problems with my nose, my throat. I lose my voice sometimes. It's why my throat's quite gravelly. It's just basically fucked a lot of like the membranes in my throat and nose. I wasn't aware of this till like years after it happened. It was way too late to make a compensation claim. So yeah, that's why I sniff, probably to an annoying degree. It's why I cough quite a lot, and it's why my voice is quite gravelly. It never used to be like this, but yeah, there we go. Shit happens. It didn't kill me. I'm not dead, so I guess we have to be grateful for that. I suppose 25 years of smoking cigarettes didn't help much either. And now we just vape, which probably doesn't help either. Probably some way. That's why I like to have Tic Tacs when I vape, because my mouth goes incredibly dry very quickly. I'm forever like drinking lots of fluid, because I just get like cotton mouth really, really easily, which never used to happen either. So yeah, basically enzymes have fucked me, but yeah, as I said, I'm still here, still alive, and have a happy life, so worse things happen. Managed to build some nice stacks here. The lobby is down to 17 players now though, so probably not going to play for too much longer. Certainly not Snap. I'm probably going to end the video and we'll see what's going on the reg tables, but we're not going to make a video of the reg tables just yet. We will do that at some point, but not tonight. We've managed to get 48 minutes in the bag, which is good enough. Fold versus a pot size bet there. Deuce, please. Nope. No deuce. I don't think he's going to be in the mood to fall to my 3-bets. Don't really want to. Well, I do want a 3-bet. 100 blinds deep, a 3-bet, but this deep, I'm going to play it a little bit more cautiously. Queen is a nice card. The club's not a nice card. I'm going to lead out here, just like block it off. Fold to a raise. With 3-bet here, we're going to be forced to call it off, and don't want to be getting 30 bigs in pre with ace jack off against anybody really. Call turn fold river seems reasonable here, unless he like pots it, then we're probably going to fold. Looks like we're going to be four-handed everywhere, so we're going to set our next blind and go and do something else. We're down to just 14 players in the pool, 13 now. It's dropping off quickly, so yeah, I'm going to call it a session, but it's been a good one. And there we go. That is the end of the session. We made $154 in it. I'm not sure if this is going to fit into the capture properly, but we'll see, drag it across and see if we can show it. Maybe if we shrink it a bit, it'll fit in. Yeah, so $154, which is sweet. And the graph for 2 days, which is you're gonna be you can just about see it. Pretty fucking sweet. Made 800 big blinds in just less than 1,000 hands, so it's fair to say it's a heater. Yep, just the 90 big blinds 100 over 1,000 hands. EV 68 big blinds 100. Not going to argue with that. Can't lie. Went to showdown an astronomical 36%, won 70% of them. Remarkable. We'll have that. Take care, guys. See you again soon in another video. Bye bye for now.